Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are now at episode 3. We are making a dress for a client. Client for today named is Isle. She is the girlfriend of my brother and she also is the one who helped me with my branding. And yeah, inspo of the day. This is what she sent to me. This will be our front, back, and the lower part of the dress. And of course, materials needed: tailor straw, zipper, satin cloth, measuring tape, scissors, and thread. And first step is to cut all the pieces. So we are going to start by folding our satin, silk, I don't know if that's the same word, but I do. I call it satin silk cloth. We are going to fold it in half lengthwise and then another half. So basically we'll have 4 folds on the big square of the cloth. But yeah, after that I've just laid the skirt. I've actually told Isle to bring a pencil skirt so that I can use it as my guide. So this is what I've done. I've just placed the skirt into the fabric and then just trace it in on the cloth, of course with seam allowance. And since I wanted it to be ankle length and then the pencil skirt is just up to the thighs, I've just based the measurement into the last part of the guide that we did. Does that make sense? But yeah, I think you can see it on the video. But yeah, I just used that last drawing that we did, or last guide that we did on the skirt. Just took the measurement and then just measured it all the way through the ankle. And yeah. And yeah, after measuring, you just need to cut it. That's it. After that, you will have 2 pieces of skirt, the front and the back. is for the top. I already have a pattern ready for the top actually, and to tell you honestly, this is the most easiest pattern that I have, that I made for myself. What I did is just took out a one sheet of bond paper, stood in front of a mirror, placed the bond paper on the half side of my my titty area, and then just measured where my armpit is and where I want to make the dart. So that's why I already have this available. Yeah, this is actually a crop pattern, but since this is going to be a dress, I've just elongated and added length on the top so that it will fit our client. And of course, cut the traced area. And I almost forgot, we actually need 2 pieces of the front dress, like the top of the dress, because we are going to use the other one as a lining. So yeah. And then after, you just need to cut straps long enough to loop like the top of the dress, because we're actually going to make a lacing detail on the back of the dress. So yeah, you just need to cut a long strip, good for our strap, as well as on the loops for our, again, lace pack detail. And the next is in the making of the skirt. The first thing you're going to do to our skirt is of course to open it up. And since we cut 2 pieces of it, for the front and the back, you are going to need to face the shiny part of those 2 skirt to each other, and then the not shiny part, is going to face us. After that, we are going to pin all the way through the sides of our skirt, and you're gonna want to be careful, in pinning it, because with the shiny part together, the cloth is very slippery. So just take note and be careful, and of course just again pin it all the way through both sides. And after pinning all the way through to the sides of your skirt, what I've did on the left side is I did a straight stitch all the way from the top up to the bottom, and then I did of course, zigzag stitch so that the cloth will not fray. And what I've did on the right side is that first I have measured how long the zipper is, and then I've made a mark on the length, and then yeah, I've just straight stitch on that mark up to the bottom, and then I did a zigzag stitch as well. And then after that, you're just going to attach your zipper. I actually did not record on how to attach the zipper because I also do not know how to do it. I've just like checked on YouTube, but I still do not know how to do it. For some reason I find it very very hard to add a zipper. But yeah, I was actually really struggling. That's why I did not record it. So yeah. And after I've attached the zipper, I told Al to wear the skirt up to her waistline so that I can put these darts in. That's in the front as well as on the back, so that it will be more form-fitting, since that is what she wanted. So yeah, once it is sewn, this is how it will turn out. And do you still remember on our inspo, our client wanted Isle wanted a slit onto the lower part of her dress. So what I've did is that I've used the left dart as my guide for our slit to be, for where the slit is going to be. So yeah, well, I've actually just eyeballed this. I've used that as the guide, and then I've just folded the fabric so that it will be easier to cut. And after that, we will just have one cohesive line. And of course, you need to stop cutting onto where the dart is. We do not want the stitch to be like unraveled. And since I wanted her slit to start in the middle of her thighs, so this is where I've put a pin so that I will have a guide. And after, we are going to zigzag stitch all the way through the cut area so that again our cloth will not fray. And then I've straight stitched into the dart up to the guide or the pinned area that we did for her slit. And after that is done, I've folded the like the opening of the slit, so that I can straight stitch that as well, to have a much cleaner look. And once that is sewn, we are going to move on onto the top. So what I did first is to sew or make our strap. And again, to make a one long continuous strap, I've used the technique that we did on the last video, so that again we'll have a one long strap. And just remember, before and after you stitch, you need to back tack so that the stitch will not unravel or be unsewed. And after you have sewed the straps, you're going to use your loop turner to loop the straps in, and then you should have a one long strap. And of course, you are going to cut 6 of 1.5 inches. That's going to be used as our loop into the sides of the top. And of course, we cannot forget about the darts. Without the darts, our side boob or the client's side boob will be exposed, and we do not want that to happen. So yeah, it's important to have a dart onto the top of the dress. So what I have done is to lay the pattern above the cloth so that we can sew it in. And again, we are going to put darts onto the front as well as on the lining of our top. After, you are going to pin and then sew it. And then once the darts are sewed in, this is how it is going to look like. And remember the strap that we did, you remember that we've cut 6 of 1.5 inches of it for the loops, and then the leftover we are actually going to cut in half. That is for our strap. So again, just sandwich the strap into your top and the lining, so that's a shiny part, and then strap, and then the shiny part, if that makes sense. And then once the strap is pinned, you are going to pin 3 of the loops onto the right side and 3 of the other loops on the left side. And then once everything is sewn into place, you are going to put your straps inside the top, and then again just pinned all the way through, because we are going to stitch this all the way to the sides and just leave like a part unsewed, so that we can still flip the top in good side. And yeah, just sew it along the sides and making sure that our straps as well as the loops are going to be sewed as well. And we do not want it to pop out, so we are making sure to sew everything in place. And then I actually leave a good 4 inches unsewed so that again we can still flip the top around. And just make sure that your loops as well as your straps are sticking out so that we can close up the unsewed part. And once that is done, I've put pin on the center part of our top and the center part of our skirt so that we can stitch the front part of our top and the front part of our skirt only. So remember, we are going to stitch this only in the front part of our skirt, and then on the back of our skirt we are just going to do a straight stitch because this is going to be a backless dress. Again, just pin all the way through the front, straight stitch, and then zigzag stitch, and of course do not forget to back tag. And of course, I almost forgot to finish up the skirt. We are going to zigzag stitch the bottom and then straight stitch all the way through. And since we still have leftover fabric, I've also made her a mask to go along with it, and this is the finished product. And of course, this is actually just a very simple dress. It took me only 1 day to finish it. Actually, just a couple of hours, I think 5 hours. And this is what we have. And of course, we are going to have a reveal. And again, do not forget, follow at Betch.Fit on Shopee as well as on Instagram. Again, yeah, maybe I'm going to make this, as a regular thing. Custom dresses. Goodbye.